Welcome back. It is time now for business. I'm joined by Kyle Brown. Nice to see you again. We're going to be talking, first of all, about the markets. Markets give us a rundown, fairly quiet in this holiday season.
Yes, indeed. Trading was thin on the ground. Of course, the markets were closed in the US, in Europe, and in some Asian markets on Monday, Boxing Day. And also, they are not looking terribly good as they resumed in Asia, because the Nikkei was down 0.5 point, as you can see there. South Korea's Kospi reversed early gains to close down over 0.5 point, and China's Shanghai Composite is also down.
No immediate response then to that news that China and Japan have agreed to be trading in each other's currencies?
No, indeed. One would have thought that it would generate a bit of cheer around this time of year, because let me just put a question to you. What currency do you think the two countries trade in right now?
Not the yen and the yuan.
Not indeed. They trade in the US dollar, of all things. And that's going to change if the recent announcement by the two countries is anything to go by. Japan and China will move to trading in the yen and yuan away from the US dollar. The Japanese Prime Minister Yoshiko Noda made the announcement while on a visit to meet the Chinese President Hu Jintao. He unveiled the plans to promote direct exchange of their currencies to cut costs for companies and boost bilateral trade. Now, currently, businesses in both countries need to buy US dollars before converting them into the desired currency, of course, and that costs money.
Now we're going to stay with China for a moment, Kyle, a country that was aiming to increase its production of electric and hybrid vehicles to 500,000 a year by the end of 2011. Well, that deadline is, of course, almost up, and it's all a bit behind schedule. It's producing only a few thousand electric cars and buses a year. One area at least seems is thriving. Small independent automakers who build microcars for local markets. The town of Liqing in Shandong province is a centre for these factories, as Siobhan Silk now reports.
The small city of Liqing seems far removed from China's industrial and economic boom. Most people get around on two wheels, but they're sharing the roads with more and more cars. They're cleaner than the motorbikes and trikes they're replacing. Liqing is a major hub for electric car manufacturing. But there are no massive production lines here, just dozens of small workshops like this one. The workers hand-build microcars that have a mini price tag to match, around €2,000.
We started in 2009 with 200 cars. Then we built 500 in 2010. This year we should reach 1,000 vehicles. And soon, 1 million. That's my dream before I retire. 1 million cars.
This workshop builds 3 different models. They all have similar technology under the bonnet, 5 lead-acid batteries in series and a small electric motor. The whole thing is surrounded by a light, non-metal body.
It's comfortable. I've already driven a trike, but never a four-wheeled car. This is much better than a normal car. It doesn't make any noise or generate vibrations.
Many of the buyers of these cars are older people with limited incomes who are happy with limited performance. Top speed is 50 kilometers an hour and battery life is relatively short.
My activities don't bring me further than 5 kilometers, and I can recharge the batteries in 6 or 7 hours.
That might be good enough for the local market, but if Liqing's car makers want to start selling vehicles nationally or internationally, they'll have to improve those specs.
Well, as you were saying a moment ago, of course, Kyle, Europe's markets in Europe were closed yesterday. Probably good news for some, given the figures that were coming out of France.
Yes, indeed, especially for the French ailing economy. Unemployment levels just released. They're at their highest in 12 years. The number of job seekers has reached just under 4.25 million people. That's just released now. And of course, this is a long brewing problem, though, because on the one hand, we have the conventional sort of unemployment. That's the 3/4 of it. 1/4 of it, that is to say, about 1 million people are underemployed. So that's the odd jobs people tend to do from time to time, casual labor, but obviously not quite enough to constitute full employment.
The French economy is stagnating right now. We predict zero growth for the 18 months to come. So obviously companies aren't hiring and instead looking to reduce their personnel.
And that was Henry Sterlaniak at the Center for Economic Research at Sciences Po. Now, let's get a few of the business daily headlines right now. Brazil is now the world's sixth largest economy. The Center for Economics and Business Research, the CEBR, has just revealed its World League tables. Brazil has moved up to overtake Britain. Food and energy are the major contributors to its economic growth, which in 2010 was 7.5%, and that's expected to fall, though, to 3.5% in 2011.
Sony's announced it will drop its part in LCD display TVs, selling its portion of the joint venture to Samsung. Shares of Sony Corp rose 0.4% today after the news broke of the move late Monday. Samsung Electronics, which will pay approximately $940 million for Sony's share in the venture, also climbed 0.6% in Seoul. Now we're going to go back to the markets, which tend to enjoy good times in the holiday season, Kyle.
That's right. And now we're not going to just look at the day or the hour, but in fact over decades, if not centuries. That's because according to one study, markets enjoy what's called a Santa Claus effect. Now that's a rally that extends right after Christmas and into January. Ben Jacobson, he's a professor of finance at the Massey University in New Zealand, and he has been studying this phenomenon for some time. Ben Jacobson, I take it you're on the line. Welcome to you. Oh, well,
technical problems as ever. Apologies. Yes. We'll try and get him a little later to speak to us about that. Kyle, thanks very much for all of that. We'll look at all the very latest business headlines. In just a few moments, you'll be getting all the latest international headlines here on France 24. And that main headline this morning, that Arab League observers are on their way to Homs. That is according to the head of the Arab League's monitors mission in Syria. He's also said that the Syrian regime is cooperating with Arab observers. We'll be bringing you all the very latest in just a few minutes. Do stay with us here on France 24.